Hello, students. I hope you all are doing well. Now, today in history, we'll start up with a new lesson, Lesson 8 Reform Movements. So, let's begin. So, we'll start with the meaning of the heading, that is, the reform movements. Now, a reform movement is a social religious movement that aimed to reform the society. Reform movements generally happen when people work together to fix a problem, that is, something which is unjust or imperfect in society, and make changes for a better society. The impact of Western culture on India led to a great awakening in India. It led to social and religious reform movements. Many social reformers came forward and advocated changes in society among different religions. Now, the Indian society suffered from many ills like position of women, caste system, hierarchical societal system, illiteracy, poverty, etc. Now, the leaders of the reform movements they toured to different regions of the country to spread their views. Now, the Western educated middle class intellectual started many reforms on the basis of reason and logic. The reform movements began in the second half of the 19th century and played a major role in modernizing India. Next, we'll see to the meaning of a social reformer. Now, social reformer is someone who tries to improve a system or a law by changing it. He's a person who works for political, social, or religious change. And here in the picture, you can see some of the social reformers of India. We'll study about them one by one. So we'll start up with the reform movements in the north, and the first social reformer which we'll study about is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. And here in the picture you can see Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was born in an orthodox family of Bengal. His knowledge of many Indian and European languages made him well versed in both Oriental and Western learning and made him a deep thinker. He studied the religious scriptures of Islam and Christianity and believed in the oneness of God. He condemned rituals and caste based discrimination. He believed that India could progress only through learning of Western sciences, which taught a rational and scientific approach instead of blind belief in the teaching of the priests. He was a supporter of Western education and started his own school in Calcutta. In 1825, he founded the Vedanta College for the teaching of Western as well as Indian learning. His religious belief was based on the Vedas and the Upanishads. He opposed idol worship, caste system, and preached worship of one God. He founded the Brahmo Samaj in 1828 in order to purify and reform Hinduism. He fought against the evil custom of sati, and it was due to his efforts that Lord William Bentinck banned sati in 1829. He was a strong champion of women's rights and was against child marriage and polygamy. He advocated widow remarriage and demanded that women must be given the right to inheritance. He condemned polytheism. Now, polytheism is the belief or worship of more than one god. He stood for modern education for all. The next social reformer which we'll study about is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. And here in the picture you can see Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was a great advocate of women's rights and he worked all his life for improving their status in India. He was greatly interested in the education of women. He founded the Hindu Balika Vidyalaya at Calcutta. He helped Bethune to set up one of the first schools for girls in Calcutta in 1849 called the Bethune School. He also led a campaign against child marriage and polygamy. It was due to his efforts that the government passed the Widow Remarriage Act in 1856, drafted by Lord Dalhousie, the Governor General at that time. As the principal of the Sanskrit College in Calcutta, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar encouraged lower castes to join his college. He introduced the study of Western thought in his college. Vidyasagar made remarkable contribution to education of girls and the upliftment of women. The next social reformer which we'll study about is Henry Vivant de Rossio, and here in the picture you can see Henry Vivant de Rossio. He was an Anglo-Indian who started the Young Bengal movement. In 1826 he joined the Hindu College of Calcutta as a teacher. His followers were called De Rossians. Through his Young Bengal, his students supported women's education and believed in the ideals of French Revolution, that is, liberty, fraternity, and equality. The Derosians opposed caste system and other social evils. Derosio advocated the freedom of speech and expression. The next social reformer which we'll study about is Ramkrishna Paramhans. Now, Ramakrishna Paramhans was a priest and a saint and was a socio religious reformer. And here in the picture, you can see Ramakrishna Paramhans. He taught respect for all religions. He believed all religions were just different paths to reach one goal, that is, salvation or realization of God. His holy life, simplicity, and wisdom inspired all those who gathered around him. He believed that service to humanity was the best form of worship. His most famous disciple was Narendranath Datta, who later became famous as Swami Vivekanand. The next social reformer which we'll study about is Swami Vivekanand. Now, Swami Vivekanand was a great disciple of Ramakrishna Paramhans, and here in the picture you can see Swami Vivekanand. Narendranath Datta was Vivekanand's original name. He studied Indian and Western philosophies. Deeply disturbed by the poverty and suffering of the people, he wanted to reawaken the people of India. He wanted them to be fearless, self confident, and self reliant. He emphasized character building and patriotism and laid great stress on action. He carried the message of his Guru not only in India but all over the world. He represented Hinduism at the World Parliament of Religions held at Chicago in 1893. He asked people to cultivate the spirit of liberty, equality, and free thinking. He founded the Ramakrishna Mission in 1896. The mission started schools, colleges, hospitals, orphanages to serve the common people. It preached unity and oneness of all religions. He revived the image of spiritual India. The next social reformer which we'll study about is Annie Besant. And here in the picture you can see Annie Besant. She was an Irish lady, and the work of the Theosophical Society was carried on in India by her. The Theosophical Society was founded in 1882 in New York by Madame Blavatsky and Colonel H.S. Olcott. They came to India and set up their headquarters at Adyar near Madras in 1886. Now, the Theosophical Society under Annie Besant wanted to revive the ancient religion of Hinduism, Buddhism, and also preach the brotherhood of man. She translated the Bhagavad Gita into English. She preached against child marriage, caste hatred, polygamy. She was in favor of national system of education. She laid the foundation of the Central Hindu High School at Banaras, which grew into the Banaras Hindu University in later years. The next social reformer which we'll study about is Jyotiba Phule. Now here in the picture you can see Jyotiba Phule. In the next picture you can see Jyotiba Phule and Savitri Phule, who was the wife of Jyotiba. He and his wife started a school for girls at Pune. Jyotiba Phule founded the Satya Shodhak Samaj in 1873. He and his wife started a school for girls at Pune and also opened many schools for girls of lower classes. He was against the domination of Brahmins and worked for the upliftment of the lower classes. He was given the name of Mahatma for his good work. The next social reformer which we'll study about is Mahadev Govind Ranade. And here in the picture you can see Mahadev Govind Ranade. Now, Govind Ranade and Ramkrishna Bhandarkar founded the Pratna Samaj in 1867 in Bombay. They advocated the worship of supreme God and condemned the rigidity of the caste system and domination of the priests. The Samaj worked for improving the status of women. It opposed child marriage, practice of untouchability, and advocated widow remarriage. The Samaj opened night classes to educate laborers and orphanages and schools for girls. The next social reformer which we'll study about is Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Now, Swami Dayanand was one of the greatest religious and social reformers of the 19th century. And here in the picture, you can see Swami Dayanand Saraswati. He founded the Arya Samaj in 1875. He opposed idol worship, caste system, and religious creeds. His slogan was Back to the Vedas. He advocated the superiority of the Vedas and thus created a feeling of self confidence, self respect, and national pride. He started a movement known as Shuddhi, that is purification, in which he reconverted those Hindus who had been converted to other religions. He preached directly to the masses in simple language which they could understand. Swami Dayanand preached social equality. He opened the doors of the Arya Samaj to the Shudras and other depressed classes. He opposed child marriage and the Parda system. He was in favor of study of Sanskrit and Vedas along with English education and Western sciences. The Arya Samaj opened many schools and colleges for boys and girls. They are known as DAV, that is Dayanand Anglo-Vedic schools. The influence of Dayanand and the Arya Samaj in promotion of education, upliftment of women, and weakening of the caste system is greater than any other reform movement in India. Now we'll study about the reform movements in the South. And the first social reformer of the South which we'll study is Chimbai Sridharan Naidu. Now, inspired by the Brahma Samaj, the Veda Samaj was established in Madras in 1864. Sridharan was the leader of this Samaj and he translated a number of Brahma Samaj books into Tamil and Telugu. The Samaj worked for abolition of caste system, education for girls, and advocated widow remarriage. The next social reformer of the South is Kandukuri Veerasalingam, and here in the picture you can see Kandukuri Veerasalingam. He was another great leader of the reform movement in South India. He was born in an orthodox Brahmin family of Andhra and he advocated social reforms. In 1876, he started a Telugu journal and in 1878 founded the Raja Mundhari Social Reform Association. His greatest contribution was the upliftment of women, promotion of girls' education, and widow remarriage. The next social reformer of the South is Narayan Guru. Now, Narayan Guru was born in 1854 in an Izhava family, and here you can see the picture of Narayan Guru. The Izhavas were considered as untouchables. Narayan Guru studied Sanskrit and worked for social reform. He laid the foundation of many temples in Kerala without the images of gods and goddesses. He is famous for the work he did for the emancipation of oppressed sections of society in Kerala. Narayan Guru founded the Sri Narayan Dharma Paripalana Yogam in 1903. It worked for social reforms and demanded that there should be open entry into temples, which the priestly classes did not allow. He regarded all distinctions based on religion and caste as meaningless. He advocated the principle of one God and one religion. Next, we'll study about the reform movements among Muslims. The man who did his best to reform the Muslim society and change their social and political outlook was Sir Syed Ahmed Khan. The British government conferred the title of Sir on him, and here in the picture you can see Sir Syed Ahmed Khan. Sir Syed Ahmed Khan wanted to raise the status of women in society. He advocated the removal of parda and spread of education among women. He also condemned the customs of polygamy and easy divorce. Then he advised the Muslims to receive English education and learn Western sciences and culture and adopt modern ways and ideas. He founded the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College at Aligarh in 1875 for the promotion of modern education among the Muslims. Later on, this became the famous Aligarh Muslim University. He had many Western books translated into Urdu for the benefit of the Muslims. His reforms were basically meant for the upliftment of the Muslim community. He also set up various Anglo Muslim associations which gained support of the British government. Next, we'll study about reform movements among the Sikhs. The Singh Sabhas, founded at Lahore and Amritsar in 1870, were the first to start the movement for reforms among the Sikhs. It was with their help that the Khalsa College of Amritsar was founded in 1892, and many schools were also opened. They promoted the teachings of the Sikh gurus, promotion of education among the Sikhs, and the production of religious literature. Gurumukhi and the Sikh scriptures were made compulsory in Khalsa schools. The reform effort gained momentum after 1920 when the Akali movement rose in Punjab. The main aim of the Akalis was to purify the management of the Gurudwaras or Sikh shrines. And here you can see the picture of the Singh Sabhas. Next, we'll study about the reforms among the Parsis. And here are the pictures of some important reformers of the Parsi community. Dadabhai Naroji, U.B. Wacha, and Nauroji Furdunji. They were the important reformers of the Parsi community. They started a journal named as Rast Guftar for spread of education among girls. They also founded a religious reform society in 1851 called the Rehnumai Mazdeasan, which concentrated on the upliftment of the Parsis and the restoration of their religion Zoroastrianism. They worked for the upliftment of women, were able to reform marriage customs, and helped Parsis to get rid of orthodox outlook. The Parsis became one of the most modern and advanced communities in India. Next, we'll study about the growth of the press. The development of the press in the 19th century helped reformers in a great way. Newspaper and journals spread the ideas of reformers and also instilled the feeling of patriotism among the masses. Now, some of the newspapers which played an important role were The Hindu, Amrit Bazar Patrika, The Maratha, The Indian Express, The Kesari, The Tribune, The Bengal Gazette, etc. All these newspapers, along with many others, helped in spread of knowledge and information. So next we'll study about some other reformers and we'll start up with David Hare. Now here in the picture you can see David Hare. He was a Scottish watchmaker and a philanthropist who worked in Bengal. Next one is William Carey. He was a British missionary, an educationist, a translator, and an activist. And the next one is Hermann Mogling. He was a German missionary who was involved in missionary work in Mangalore, that is in Karnataka. The reform movement of the 19th century played a major role in modernizing India. Many steps were initiated for the emancipation and empowerment of women. Discriminatory practices such as sati and female infanticide were abolished. Many other social evils and superstitious practices were stopped. Girls were provided access to modern education. Inequalities based on caste system were reduced, and Western education was made available to the Indians. With this, we come to an end of our lesson, Reform Movements. I hope you all have understood it well. I'll be sending you the question and answers and exercises. Question answers to be done in the notebook and exercises to be done in the textbook. Kindly refer to the video again for a better understanding and kindly complete your work. So do take care of yourselves and have a nice day. Thank you.